Test, 1, 2, 3. Test, test. Test 1. Got it? Test, test, test. Test. Test 1, 2, 3, 4. A. 27. Good, thanks.
hats for the presentation of colors by Northern High School's Navy National Defense Cadet Corps Color Guard, and remain standing for the national anthem sung by Northern High School Chamber Choir, directed by Mrs. Cassie Jacobs. You may be seated. Dr. Dan Curry has been superintendent of Calvert County Public Schools since July 1, 2014, and was named the 2020 Superintendent of the Year for Maryland. Dr. Curry is originally from West Virginia and served there as superintendent of 3 counties for 15 years. He spent another 11 years as superintendent of schools at Lake Forest School District in Felton, Delaware from 2003 to 2014. Dr. Curry has been a member of many professional organizations. His PSAM roles include service as president, legislative chair, secretary, and past president. He was also the past president of the Delaware Chief School Officers and legislative chair and past president-elect of the West Virginia Association of School Administration. He was a member of the governing board and the executive board of the American Association of School Administrators. His community affiliations include serving on the board of Friends of the Jefferson Patterson Park and Museum, the Calvert Community Foundation, and Calvert Family Network. He is also a member of the Harriet Elizabeth Brown Commemoratorium Task Force and the former charter member of 2 Rotary Clubs and Rotarian of the Year. He and his wife, Jackie, reside in Lusby, Maryland. Please welcome Dr. Dan Curry.
Thank you, Mr. Williams. And welcome and greetings on behalf of the Calvert County Board of Education and Administration. They say good things come to those who wait, and we had to wait a long, long time for this. It took a lot of waiting and hard work, and a lot of people contributed to make this day come true. And first I want to recognize some dignitaries who are here with us today. County Commissioner and former school board member, Kelly McConkey. And President of the County Commission, Buddy Hance, who we're going to hear from in a minute. Former school board members, Tracy McGuire and Rose Crunkleton. And present school board members, Pam Cousins, who will say a few words in a minute, and Antoine White. I have Thomas Ridenauer on my list. Did Thomas make it? Oh, there he is, Thomas. Thomas Ridenauer, former SMA from Northern High School. Retired Director of Construction and the one responsible for getting us started on this journey, Mr. George Lea. From the Design and Construction team, Brian Eschman. And from Scheibel Construction, John Bailey. We have two past principals. We have George Miller and Kevin Howard. Past assistant principals, Larry Butler and Michelle Bell. Present APs, Trey Sermon and Sarah Bento and Andrea Young, I believe, are here. We have retired district office leadership team, Diane Workman, assistant superintendent. Welcome, good to see you again, Diane. We have staff who have play a major role in keeping everything going today, and that is Assistant Superintendents Tony Navarro, Susan Johnson, Directors Christy Harris, Jackie Jacobs, and Greg Gott. I think I saw Scott Long, supervisor of maintenance. And President of the PTSO for Northern High School, Nathalie Thon. Now you can see in the program, it's an interesting history if you look in the program, this history of Northern High School. It took a while, and I have to say, having been a superintendent, as you've heard, I wander around a lot, and I've been a superintendent for 34 years. And one observation I've made is that school buildings built in the late 60s, early 70s, they just weren't built very well for the most part. Often, the fad, as was for Northern High School, the fad at the time was big open spaces for learning. I student taught in 1974 in an open-spaced elementary school, and I'll bet you that school's probably put up walls like everybody else that did, and like they did here in Northern High School. When you build walls, then you create problems with the HVAC system was not designed for a building with walls, and it creates a whole lot of other issues too. You'll find, you'll see on college campuses and other communities, schools built in 1920 and 1930, they were built of brick and stone, and they were often still stand as monuments in their schools. But that's the way it went. So this project took 8 to 9 years. EdSpec started all the way back in 2010. It was designed and bid in 2015, but it was way, way over budget. So project had to be redesigned with a lot of direction from George Lea, and who was a previous director of construction. Square footage was reduced. Many spaces such as, and this was standard in Calvert County, we had every school had computer labs. Well, we would give a laptop to every student. That was our plan for the future. Maybe that's a space you don't need to build. So we cut out computer labs, and hard wiring was scrapped, and a lot of value engineering was done. It was rebid, and we got a good bid in the fall, and started in fall of 2016. The project was designed to be in 2 phases, but actually it was about 5 phases, if you remember right. First, we had to take the baseball field and build 440 geothermal wells, about 450 feet in the ground, for heating and cooling the new building. And Northern Middle's playing field had to be borrowed to make a parking lot. Underground utilities had to be moved and rerouted. Renovations to existing rooms in this building and Mary Harrison Center were done over the summers. There were temporary walkways. The old bus loop and parking lots were maintained so school operations could coexist safely. We built a great big monster new building beside the old one, and then we demolished the old one and built the administration office area. This journey took everyone's efforts, including not only the school community, but various state and local agencies. It required the support and investment of our county commissioners and our Board of Education and the IAC. Northern High School in particular, the state was going to limit the amount of money they would put in because they said we should build a smaller building for fewer students, and the county commissioners and the Board of Education came together and agreed to provide an extra $6 million to be able to build the building that we thought we needed, and we appreciate that. I'd like to acknowledge and thank those who brought the project out of the ground and breathed life into it. As mentioned before, GWWO Architects, Scheibel Construction, our school construction and maintenance and operations staff too. Our central office procurement staff, Kevin Michael, one responsible for coordinating the purchase and installation of furnishings and equipment once we move in. Our IT department for installation of all the technology for the transition. And lastly, Principal Steve Williams and Northern High School staff and students who endured 4 years of dust and noise and interruptions. You made it happen, and we are grateful. Now to continue our program, I want to invite to speak on behalf of the Board of Education, Board Vice President Pam Cousins to the podium.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. It's a pleasure to speak on behalf of the Board of Education this evening. 5 years ago, on August the 11th, 2016, we celebrated the groundbreaking for the Northern High School Replacement Project. Today, we marvel at a new modern built facility designed to offer safe, healthy learning spaces to meet the needs of each of our students. We are pleased that Northern is the first school to be awarded the Leadership in Energy and Environmental Design Silver designation. The board wishes to thank Dr. Curry for his leadership, to Shachita Warner, Director of School Construction, and retired Director of School Construction, Mr. George Leah, Jr. Thank you for the tours during construction, for the tireless planning, careful design, and management of the construction activities. To GWWO, Incorporated, and Scheibel Construction, thank you for the labor to bring our vision to reality. To our senators, beloved Mike Miller and current Senator Michael Jackson, for their oversight on Calvert's educational programs. Our state delegates for their ever-present attention to our efforts, and to our county commissioners and the Maryland State Department of Education for the funding required to make sure this school was built. Thank you for your commitment to the community. Thank you to Principal Stephen Williams and his staff for persevering through the challenges of maintaining a positive learning atmosphere through the construction and transition to the new school for our students. To our students, take advantage and engage in all the meaningful learning experiences the school has to offer. To all members of the Northern community, thank you for your advocacy and support to see this through. Each time we walk down the halls, we are inspired by the words, by the innovation, and creativity that we see. We know that the school will benefit the community and its children for decades to come. Thank you. And one more thing. While I'm here, if I may, Senator Michael Jackson was unable to be here today, and I would like to offer his official citation. Be it hereby known to all that sincerest congratulations are offered to Northern High School in recognition of the dedication ceremony for the new Northern High School academic facility. I extend my congratulations to this momentous occasion and my best wishes for many years of service to our community. Presented on this day, 24th of October, day of October 2021, by Senator Michael A. Jackson of Calvert, Charles, and Prince George's Counties, Legislative District 27.
Next, the President of the Calvert Board of County Commissioners, Mr. Buddy Haynes.
So good afternoon, everybody. It certainly is a privilege to be here today to dedicate this new facility. And I have to recognize Commissioner Steve Weems, who snuck in a little late, because this project transcended an election. So Commissioner McConkey at the time was on the school board that approved the project, worked through the project. Commissioner Weems was on the board of county commissioners that approved the spending for the project. So those two deserve some congratulations on their foresight and their efforts to see this facility through to its end. I want to thank Scheibel Construction. It's always great when we do local projects with local contractors, keep those funds in the community. And I want to thank the school board for all their efforts. It takes a lot of work to put together a school project. And for Calvert County, it's quite a commitment. I don't know what our commitment exactly was, about $40 million, I believe, for this project. And for us, that's a lot of money. So it takes, as I mentioned, for Commissioner Weems and those other board members at that time, it's a commitment for them to see that there is a need. And as I've told several here today, I know I don't look it, but the Northern High School, the original school, wasn't even open when I graduated. The original school was under construction but had not opened before I graduated. So I hope that they're not going to demolish me and replace me with somebody else. But, as Dr. Curry said, it served the needs of this community. Thousands of students, young Calvert County students came through that building, got their education that has carried them through for the rest of their lives. And this new facility is going to do that once again for decades, help our young youth gain the knowledge, experiences that they need to be productive citizens in this county and this country well into the future. So we owe a deep depth of gratitude for those individuals that worked on this project throughout the entire experience. But I just want to close with, it's always nice having a new school. Bricks and mortar, it looks nice, the students love, everything's brand new. But at the end of the day, it's not the bricks and mortar that makes a difference. It's the teachers, it's the administrative staff, it's those individuals that are out there every day interacting with our kids, helping them navigate through an educational system and prepare them for life that really matters. So we need to always keep that in the back of our minds, and especially with COVID, we've learned there's a lot of virtual learning going on now where students aren't even coming into the building. So I think that the future is going to be very interesting for all of us. And this new facility will serve our youth very well in the future. And I want to congratulate all of you that worked on this project, and thank you very much.
Next, speaking on behalf of the students of Northern High School, Zoe Posh, who is a senior and an officer in student government. Zoe.
Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, colleagues, staff, and friends, thank you for being here today for the Northern High School dedication ceremony for our new building. As a little girl, I always marveled at student council campaigns whenever they wove their way into my favorite TV shows and movies. I pictured myself making unrealistic campaign promises like pizza every day and building a new school. Here we are. On a serious note, let me tell you why I'm excited about the Northern High School. There are several words that come to mind when I think about our new building, but three stand out. The first is opportunity. We now have the opportunity to do things that we have never done before. Our school is the ideal location for social outreach and networking events. Just last week, in partnership with Future Doctors of America, our student government collected 818 pairs of socks for the Calvert Resource Fair. Excitement is the second word that springs to mind. Excitement in the sense that this structure provides an educational experience unlike any other. Students are truly excited about using the technologies available in this building. Since its construction, student life has changed dramatically. There are so many places to study and to collaborate with fellow peers. From innovative learning stations for group collaboration in the Media Center to state-of-the-art smartboards used by our top-notch teachers, student life and education is ever-changing and progressive. It is not only students who attend Northern High School that are excited. I remember my first day walking into the lobby to start my first day in the brand new building and seeing progressive students in awe of our beautiful new school. I met my best friend, who at the time was considering transferring from the Calverton school, touring our school. When I asked her what she thought of it, her response was, "This building is amazing, and if I have the opportunity to study here, why wouldn't I?" I felt proud of our school at that moment, and I continue to hear praise from around our community today. Finally, I'll discuss legacy. Northern has always had a tradition of high expectations, and it is now up to us, the students, alumni, faculty, and the community, to continue to create our school's legacy. This building will provide us with the perfect opportunity to surpass these expectations. Thank you for the honor of letting me speak to you all today. Thank you for letting me share with you this wonderful building. Thank you to everyone who delivered this building to our community. I am proud to be a Patriot.
And now, for the presentation and acceptance of the building, I invite our Director of Construction, Shachita Warner.
Thank you, Dr. Curry. For this portion of the presentation, I'd like to have a couple of people that were very instrumental in the project come up and join us. George Leah, if you could please come up on the stage. Brian Eschman, John Bailey. I believe Gloria Mikowajczak could not join us today from MSDE. We will miss her. I'm not sure if Delegate Fisher and Delegate Jones were able to attend. If either of them are here, we would love to have you join us up here. Commissioner Hans, Ms. Cousins, Dr. Curry, Steve Williams. If we could go ahead and line up. George, if you could come closest.
Line up in that order.
Okay, one after the other. Okay, great. Natalie Thon, if you could come up on stage, please. And Zoe Posh, you're going to be last. So what we're going to do is George Leah, Brian Eschman, John Bailey, Commissioner Hans, Ms. Cousins, Dr. Curry, if you two could switch spots. Steve Williams, and then Natalie Thon, and then Zoe Posh will be last. Perfect. Very good. Okay. We are going to start this key.
Thank you.
Okay, so I think we all know that Rome was not built in a day, and Northern High School is certainly no exception. As Dr. Curry said earlier, planning for a project like Northern High School typically begins 8 to 9 years in advance. Most people know that when a school district typically wants to build a school, they hire an architect to design it, then hire a contractor to build it. Once done, the staff and students move in, voila. But I would like to shed some light into some of the other really important players who are integral to the school building process. Many of them are up on stage here today. They've each provided a level of dedication and commitment to building excellent schools in Calvert County, and they each hold the key to any school project's successful outcome because of their unique roles. To represent their role as key members to the process, we actually have a commemorative key custom made by the talented carpenters in our maintenance department that will be handed from person to person on stage as we spotlight each of their roles within the project. So we're going to start with the key in the hands of the very capable former director of school construction, George Leah. Northern High School's journey started in 2012 when the former director of school construction, George Leah, together with instructional and support staff at CCPS, developed the ed specs, or educational specifications, for the Northern High School replacement building. For those not familiar, ed specs are a guiding document that provide an overview of the type of learning that will take place in a particular classroom space, how that learning might be facilitated, the equipment needed to support the learning, and the environmental considerations. These are just a few of the things that go into ed specs. They're essentially a roadmap that is given to the architect. In the case of Northern High School, the ed specs were given to the architectural firm of GWW Architects, which in the capable hands of Brian Eschman were translated into a building design that could be given to the contractor in the form of blueprints. The Northern High School project was bid and awarded in 2016 to Scheibel Construction, represented today by their president, John Bailey. But no project can get built without commitment. A commitment to standards of quality and a commitment to funding. From the very beginning of a project's planning phase, MSDE was involved in reviewing our ed specs, the initial design documents to make sure that we were dotting all the I's and crossing all T's. Regrettably, Gloria Mikowajczak, our MSDE facilities branch architect, is not able to join us on stage today, but she is to be commended along with the rest of the MSDE facilities branch staff. As always, we're grateful to our state delegates for supporting our schools. Getting funding support for a school project at the state level for us feels like we've won the lottery, but behind the scenes, there is a lot of advocacy work taking place. Our delegates, Fisher and Jones, deserve our gratitude and thanks for always advocating for the needs of families and students for Calvert County. Now, construction funding for school projects is split between the state and local government. The local county government also funds, as Commissioner Hanson said, it was quite a price tag, because they also fund the design costs for the building and all the furniture and equipment that go into the school. Without the funding commitment from Commissioner Hans and the rest of the Board of County Commissioners over a 6-year period, we would not be standing here today. So that's quite the commitment. So that's a little behind the scenes about the planning and funding piece. Once the Northern High School project was funded and bid out for construction, our Board of Education members, including Vice President Ms. Pam Cousins, approved the construction contract award and was providing oversight to the community through doing due diligence as the Board of Ed member so that construction could begin. From 2016, when the construction started, all the way to 2020, when the building was fully done, Dr. Curry, as superintendent, was the commander-in-chief advocating for funding and resources so the building could be completed and the staff had enough time to pack their old classrooms and set up their classrooms in the new building. Now to Steve Williams, principal of Northern High School. He started his principalship right when we broke ground in 2016 and was a master at keeping his school operational, communicating to his staff and students in order to make sure they were safe, and most importantly, he kept his sanity, his smile, and all of his hair intact. The partnership between parents, teachers, and students allows a school community to thrive and prosper. Northern's strong PTSO provides continuous support to the school community and is represented today by PTSO President Natalie Thon. And lastly, as the key that started out in the hands of the CCPS Construction Department reaches its final recipient, Zoe Posh, Northern's journey from an aspirational idea on paper to a vibrant school community in this beautiful building is complete. This building now belongs to students like SGA member Zoe Posh and other members of the Patriot family who will walk through its halls for many years to come. So thank you. Okay, and now we have some commemorative keys that we want to make sure that we get to all of the folks that are here today, so don't let me forget to get you that. And I will now like to announce Steve Williams, who will provide the dedicatory remarks. Thank you.
It is a great privilege to be here today to celebrate the end of a journey of building the new Northern High School. As I think back on the challenges of operating a school around a construction project, I wish I would have kept a journal of the many challenges because today it seems like it's a blur. However, as we neared the end of the project, students and staff were more and more excited each day. As we got closer to occupying the building, I will never forget the many smiles and facial expressions as the students walked the halls for the first time. If you ever walk the halls of the old building, you would understand why so many students were overjoyed and said, "Mr. Williams, we have windows." Staff were equally excited about the new technology and additional classroom space. The 244,000 square feet building that we have today may be a hike to walk, but it offers many opportunities for our students. We are excited to exceed our expectations for academic rigor in the new building. Over the years, Northern High School has been consistently rated as one of the remarkably high-performing schools by outside organizations and was named as one of the top 25 schools in the country by the University of Maryland Clark School of Engineering. The University of Maryland stated, "Northern High School produces many outstanding graduates who come to the Clark School well prepared to master our challenging curriculum and go on to in industry, government, and academia. Your faculty and staff provide rigorous science, technology, engineering, and mathematics programs that prepare young men and women for brilliant futures. I'm excited to see how much further our students can go." As we move on from the old building and think about the new expectations and commitment to education, I would be remiss if I didn't mention the late Bill Fallon, who served many years on the Board of Education. Mr. Fallon was a supporter of many events at Northern High School, attending numerous school concerts, theater programs, and sporting events. He always stopped in to check on the construction updates and was just as excited as the students were when they walked the hallways for the first time. Thank you, Mr. Fallon, for your service to our community. I know that Northern High School will continue to grow, mature, and prosper. Above all, I know that for the next 30 years, the students, staff, and community will continue their commitment to excellence and achievement of success for our students. We are Northern and will always be proud to be a patriot. This concludes the ceremony today. Thank you for joining us for this dedication ceremony. Thank you to all the students and staff who have made this special day possible with their planning, preparation, and commitment to Northern High School. At this time, please join us in the self-guided tour of the building, where you will see classroom and displays about the school. There will be a marching band performance on the stadium field, which I might add yesterday was in the competition and are now again repeat state champions. So outstanding job to them. Our Project Lead the Way engineering classes will have a drone and other projects on display in the stadium courtyard. There will also be drone footage of the construction phases for your viewing pleasure and refreshments from Dreamweaver Cafe and catering available in the cafeteria. A special thank you to Mr. Dave Walton and his team for offering our community and friends the opportunity to view the ceremony through live stream. Thank you and enjoy.